It was just 5 days before 9/11. Months before, I had moved into a studio apartment and was beginning to get my life back. I had discovered peace, and I learned about peace. I heard about peace in the Bible, learned about it at church, would see it talked about on different programs, documentaries. But peace, understanding and having peace that passes all understanding, I experienced that 5 days before. Actually, I had been in my studio apartment or efficiency apartment, whatever you want to call it, at that time. And I was just getting settled, having gotten that narcissist out of my life, and just pulling things together just to begin to breathe. Little did I know, I had moved right across the street from where the narcissist was living. Oh my goodness. I was trying to get away from the narcissist. Instead, and then eventually, he discovered that I lived right across the street. Anyway, he was with, he had roommates, and he was staying with some roommates. And because he did not pay his portion of the rent, he was asked to leave. And because he knew I lived right across the street, you know the story. Yes, that happened. Pressure, beyond unbearable pressure. I was still weak, still wounded, at the very infantile stage of healing. And then eventually I decided to just go ahead and give in. I knew I wasn't going to stay in that efficiency, that apartment long. I had already knew that in order to get rid of the narcissist, I had to move. And I had already had a home where I asked him to leave, and he refused to leave. Side note though, if I knew I could have evicted, yes, I would have done that. I had no idea. I had no idea that you can evict a spouse. But yes, I did. But if I had known. Anyway, so that day go by, it was a Friday. The Saturday goes by, the Sunday goes by. He did not sleep in my bed. Believe it or not, he actually slept on the floor and was comfortable sleeping on the floor. And I downsized so low, I went from a king-size bed to a day bed. I wanted to make sure there was no room for anyone else to sleep in my bed. Side note. But here's the thing. 2-3 more days later, it was Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. I had an office in my little efficiency. It was, as soon as you walk in the door, that's where I had my desk area. It was a U-shaped desk. I had a divider, and then next to the divider was my day bed. And then facing my day bed was where the kitchen was, and I had a really nice sizable closet, walk-in area with the bathroom and tub and all of that. But here's the thing. Even though that he was there, the narcissist was there, and I knew that I was going to get rid of him somehow. As a matter of fact, I think I had traveled I think I went to a small strip mall area, and I was looking for a police because I was trying to figure out how to get this person out of my life, out of my home, and I didn't have the strength at that time because it was so debilitating. Those of you who have suffered or are suffering from narcissistic abuse, you know how debilitating it is. And this police officer told me, actually what to do. But I digress with that, and I want to get back to the purpose of this. I wake up on Tuesday morning, and I turn on my television. I had television at my desk, and I saw this very long high-rise tower in flame. And I heard the news reporters say the World Trade Center had been hit by a plane. I'm in the area, in the DMV area, in Washington, D.C. area, and I thought it was the World Trade Center in Baltimore. And they kept talking about, and I knew that this particular broadcast was the national broadcast. It was in New York. But as I was watching the news to look at it a little bit more, I said, "Oh my God!" And then out of the blue, and I'm looking to the left because that's where it came from. It came from the left. Another plane just quickly went right into the other World Trade Center tower. My first thought was, oh my God, we are being attacked. Meaning we, the United States of America, is being attacked. And I mentioned that to the narcissist. And I could barely remember anything about him because I was tuning everything out about him. But what I remember was I was feeling sad for those people who might have been in the office. It was early in the morning, East Coast. It was between 8 and 9 a.m. And then of course we heard about another crash, and then we heard about the Pentagon being hit by a plane. And I remember people they left their homes. I mean, they left their jobs. Their streets was packed. The streets was packed with cars and the grocery stores. People were buying bread. It was very warm. It was comfortable out. It was a sunny day, and it was like snow days. When you had the threat of snow. We had the threat of snow here. Everybody panics and they go to the grocery store and they buy up everything. Mainly bread, eggs, water. Not water, but milk. Anyway. So I remember that distinctively. And this is not the typical video. But it was just something about that narcissist being there. And I remember a few days later, people were counseling. Let's cut that off. There was an alarm. People were counseling their divorces. People who were separated were getting back together. Not I. People were getting married, but lots of the divorce lawyers had a lot of cancellations that was happening. But I remember going outside and I saw this smoke, and I knew if I needed to get anything, I probably was going to be in lockdown for a little bit, and I need to get something at the store. And I saw this smoke. Over, and the smoke was coming from the Pentagon. And I was in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, not actually in the city of Washington, D.C. but you can see from the Pentagon, it was at least 30 minutes from where I lived, which is on the grounds in Virginia. And of course, I continued to watch the news, and I saw all of that happening. I remember other conversations about it, and I remember it being a painful day. Today I decided, actually this year I decided from this point on, it's a day that I am personally going to remember. And so I intentionally do not schedule appointments or business events on this day, just for my own personal commemoration. I pray for and rest in peace all the lives, all the children, all the adults, the parents, the grandparents, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, all the people, the co-workers, all the cousins, godparents, all the different people who lost their lives. I pray for their souls and for the continual healing of their family. So I just take this time and take this moment just to share what my experience was and what I remember on that day, how already numb I was in the process of healing, and then had to stop the healing because the narcissist was in my presence, but at the same time numb, and at the same time trying to function and trying to also still do work on that day. So I didn't have an outline or anything planned for this video. I just wanted to take a moment to commemorate and know the narcissist is not in my life, and the narcissist has been out of my life for more than a decade. Since 2016, officially divorced 2010. No, not 2016. 2006, officially divorced. 2010. But I just take this time and take this moment to think about and remember the souls that was lost, and the brave firemen, policemen, all the service workers, all the volunteers, the people who came out in the streets to help and give water to them as they went through the rubble, trying to find lives and also pulling out bodies. Just taking a moment to remember on this day. But I will say to you, if you are in a situation where you are experiencing abuse, or you're experiencing narcissistic abuse, that, as you've always heard me say, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to endure that. And such a tragic time like that is not a time to reconcile. It's a time for you to gain your own strength back, to wake up and to realize your strength. Even though that tragedy happened, even though people were getting back together or putting their lives together, that was not possible for me, because it was already too much pain, too much abuse. The only way that was going to change for the better is that there would have to be a total 360-degree turnaround from the narcissist. And based on that history, and also based on my studies, that was definitely not going to happen. So I say to you, if you are in a situation like that, no matter what sudden events happen in your life or happen around you, stay strong, remain strong, gain strength, reach out to family, reach out to friends or reach out to the National Domestic Abuse Hotline, and I will put that in the I will put that inside of the description in the comments to contact them for support. I'm not saying you can't talk with me about support, because I am fully recovered from narcissistic abuse. And they do say the only way that you can heal is to heal to get the support is from someone, who has recovered. I definitely have recovered, and others have recovered. And I am planning to bring many of them on here on this channel so that you can see that you can survive and you can live and you can move forward without having a narcissist in your life. You can get past this. It takes time. It takes a lot of growth, a lot of change, all for the better for you, all for the better for those around you, all for the better, and that includes your family, your children, and even the co-workers. But I just want to encourage you, and I want to take this moment to share about my experience about that. But I did not stop. I did not waver. I stayed focused, and I did not continue in that narcissistic marriage, narcissistic abuse, abusive, whatever you want to call it. I did not remain in that situation, and you don't have to either. So again, I wish you to be happy. I wish you to move forward, and as this channel is named, to move, to be propelled to the greatness that you were created to be, the greatness that you were destined to be, the greatness that you are supposed to be. I encourage that for you today. So if you find this video helpful, please do share it with someone, especially someone that you know that needs to come out of this abuse. Please like, of course, I would love for you to like it, and also comment so that others will know that they are not alone and that they can move past, or they're willing to move past. If you have any questions, or if you have something that you would like for me to cover related to this or any other subject about having to remove yourself or recover from narcissistic abuse. This is not for you to stay in it, but to remove yourself and to get out of this. Let me know. I'll be happy to do a video about that, or I'll be happy to bring other recovered past victims of narcissistic abuse. So for this point on, I wish you the best, and I will see you in the next video.